What does it even mean to live seasonally? It's not just about eating fresh foods or filling your home with plants, although I am all for that, but there's something more to it. In my coaching programs, I try to get people used to the cyclical nature of growth. And when we learn how to live seasonally, we start to become more familiar with the patterns, the cycles, the natural ebb and flow of life. Our bodies just weren't meant to sustain the pace and the hustle and the grind that we put them through. And our nervous system wasn't meant to withstand it either. In my own self-healing journey, I've found that by trying to mirror the rhythms of nature and incorporate them into my daily life, I regulate my body, mind, and spirit in a way that feels natural and important. In this lesson, I'll encourage you to accept the invitation of spring to come out of the cave. It's time to inhale the bright, fresh energy of the season. My name is Jody McQuarrie, and I'm the mindfulness coach for Untitled Collective. Let's grow. So what are we supposed to learn from spring? Spring invites us into a time for renewal, rebirth, and an inner awakening. It's a big stretch and yawn after the long, dark night of winter. The hibernation season of winter gives our hustle a chance to rest, and it gives us a reprieve from that constant drive for productivity. But now we have all this energy pent up. What are we going to do with it? The introduction of spring provides a subtle shift as new, fresh vitality begins to flow through us. The desired pace here is steady. The seeds of insight and excitement and dreams that were planted in our soul during the dark months begin to bloom as we experience the sunlight of this season. The breath of spring fills our lungs with fresh air and reminds us that things we thought were dead were actually just dormant. This is nature's quietest stage of growth. It's the perfect time to spring clean our hearts, our minds, and our lives, letting go of all the things that no longer serve us in order to create space for our deepest aspirations and ambitions to flourish. Spring is often referenced as a season of birth or rebirth, so we see a lot of these themes: new beginnings, hope, blooming. It's where we see a resurgence of life and vitality, fresh energy. And this is kind of a good practice as we enter into each season. There's a pruning or purging that allows us to make space for the ways that we're growing. In the spring season, that takes the form of really amping up intentionality. Additionally, just like in the fall equinox, the equinox in the spring balances out light and dark as the days begin getting incrementally longer all the way until the summer solstice that occurs in June. This increase in light can be metaphorical for the increase in outward-focused energy, where we begin to put into actions the intentions that we set in our spirits during the winter. The earth emerges from winter's dark inner cold and begins to bend towards spring's light, external warmth. The term equinox means equal night. And so I like to imagine it as a cosmic balancing act where night meets day, dark meets light, and shedding meets growth. A really good reflection question to sit with right now is, what is being birthed in me in this season? Or if that's a little too weird or a little woo-woo, try asking, what am I ready to bring into the world? Are there hobbies or ideas or business plans that you've been putting off? Maybe now would be a great time to harness your energy and put your enthusiasm into those. Have you been toggling an indecision about something or trying to work up the courage for a big change? Maybe now would be a good time to harness the energy of the world around you and take the leap. In Untangled Collective, we go more into depth with how to incorporate the seasons in different ways. But here are just a few things you can do to mirror what's happening in nature, in your mind, body, and spirit. For starters, the focus energy of spring is your key energy. It's represented by your vitality, your will, that fiery spirit. For your key energy to function at optimal levels, you can make sure you're getting good quality sleep, even if it's less sleep than you've gotten in previous seasons. Move your body a little bit more, not to get bikini ready, but to build up your body's endurance for the faster pace and longer days of the summer months. Now's a great time to walk around the neighborhood or try yoga. Spring is also a fantastic time to do a liver detox, incorporating things like dandelion root, milk thistle, maybe even ending each day with some chamomile tea. You can intensify this liver cleanse by doing deep emotional work around the kinds of feelings that tend to get stuck in the liver, particularly anger, grudges, resentment. And if you have a difficult time releasing those feelings on your own because they're so deeply embedded, maybe now's a good time to start working with a therapist or a coach to process that out. In your home, you can begin to build the bridge between the inside and the outside, either by bringing in plants and flowers or by spending more family time outdoors, dining on your deck or reading together on your porch. In business, I like to think of spring as the time for show and tell, except instead of toting your stuffed animals to the schoolroom, you get to bring all your favorite ideas and dreams to the world classroom and tell us why they excite you. Spring is the time for action, for movement, for flow. What was still in the winter will become stagnant if it doesn't move now. It's like nature itself is knocking on your door and asking you to come out and play. So will you? So I started Untangled Collective under the notion that living things grow and hold on.